So before I get too deep into this, let me set the stage. Our application for this demo has two components, a front end and a back end. The back end is this API written in Go, and it returns a greeting. This API is packaged in a container and runs on Nomad, which is a container orchestration platform. The front end is static HTML and it's deployed to Netlify. So with that said, let me talk about what I wanted to demo with this today. At Dagger, we talk a lot about portable pipelines. And what that means is you write your pipeline once, you can run it anywhere, any CI platform, any machine that can run containers, you name it. And for CI pipelines, a lot of times it's that easy. You just write your pipeline, drop it in, and you can run it in any place. For CD pipelines, where you actually need to deploy your built applications to different places, usually it gets a bit more complex. And one of the reasons for that is environments and secrets. And so that's what I'm going to be showing off today. So in this demo, we're going to build this whole application, the back end and front end, and deploy it to our Nomad cluster in Netlify. And it's actually going to run on my machine here, as well as GitHub Actions and CircleCI. And so the magic that lets Dagger do this is, instead of duplicating my build environment and my secrets in every CI platform, which is not scalable, and it's really difficult, when there's a breach somewhere, you got to go around, rotate secrets, and figure out all the different places you copied and pasted them. I think that the best way to accomplish this is through a proper tool that handles environments and secrets. And so in this demo, we're using Vault, and we can see my application has a few secrets and a few settings that we set. So like my Docker credentials, the greeting that's actually used in the app that we'll look at, and the Netlify credentials. So you can use Vault, any secrets manager, Doppler, like tons of options out there, but they're all great for letting you be free from that CI platform environment so that you can run on your machine. You can move between CI platforms, all these things. So how do we actually do this? Let's look at our Dagger pipeline. So when I run my CI, there it is. We start up and we do that backend build and deploy and that front end build and deploy that I mentioned. And if I jump into the backend build and deploy, we've got it right here. So we're going to build a multi-arch image for our API. Because again, I have this Nomad cluster, and if I jump over to it, we've got a bunch of different hosts here that are running our API, and they're mixed architectures, all kinds of stuff going on here. And by doing this multi-arch image, we can just deploy this anywhere in our cluster. And then kind of the key part here is, if we go to getting the backend build here, we actually pull this greeting secret. So let me take a step back and actually curl our API. So if I hit this, it says hello community. So where does that part come from? If I jump back to my API, it says hello to secret greeting. And this is a variable that we actually pass in at build time in this case. And it's a bit of a stretch, bit of a silly example to show like how we're actually using these secrets at build time, but you'll see like the deployment secrets being used as well. So in this case, we say hello community. So if we jump to this terminal and look at our Vault instance, that field greeting is community. So let's go ahead and update that to say hello Daggernauts. And now that's updated. So we go run CI main.go. And then while that's running, we'll kind of push it off to the side here and keep looking at this pipeline. So we've got the secret in the build, and it passes that into the build flag. If we, I broke something. That's okay. We will let GitHub do it. How about that? And this wasn't planned, so live demos. And so how do we actually get that secret from Vault within our Dagger pipeline? If I jump over to the secrets utility, on my actual machine, I think I have Vault installed, but it doesn't matter because what my Dagger pipeline is configured to do is actually use the Vault image within the pipeline and set all the appropriate variables to be able to connect to my secret store and pull this out as a Dagger secret, right? So in this case, we set a bunch of things and this function asks for a specific name. So in this case, we passed greeting, which is what that field was. And then we pass that out as a file basically to be able to get a Dagger secret from that. So we turn that Dagger secret into something that we can reuse throughout our pipeline. So if I go over to like deploy, for example, when we deploy to Netlify, we get our Netlify site and Netlify token from our secret store. And then we use the Netlify CLI to go ahead and do that. Again, just within like this ephemeral image. So we're never actually worrying about what exists on my host or what exists within whatever runtime environment. We're just pulling the whole environment in on the fly. So let's go ahead and look at CircleCI, which is probably still running. Okay. And it got our first two secrets. And so hopefully it doesn't fail at the same place that my local machine failed, because I honestly don't know what I broke in the last like 20 minutes. And actually, while that's running, we could go over and see GitHub is also running. But yeah, if we go back and look at like maybe the last successful build, just see what the build output looks like. Ignore all those red X's. We can see like that same output that we've seen so far of like getting that greeting from Vault, updating the Nomad job, building the front end, getting the Netlify creds, get that new Netlify site URL, and then it's done. And how are we here? Nice. So on this side, it looks like CircleCI has gotten to the point where it's actually deployed our app. So let's go ahead and hit this endpoint again. Or maybe that one's still going. Hello community, that's what we changed it to, right? No, we changed it to hello Dagger knots. Let's hit it again. It's probably still rolling over. And actually we could go check right now too. So if we go to this thing, we can see the new jobs, and this one is setting up some new jobs for us. And I bet GitHub is probably finished now too. So it's probably like doing another deployment. But if we hit that again, hello Dagger knots. So we've got that new container rolled out to Nomad, and it pulled in that secret. And again, it was able to build that image and push it to Docker Hub using the credentials stored in Vault. And it was able to deploy it to Nomad again with those configurations. And then if we look at the front end, built a really awesome front end for you all. Hello Dagger community. So this is my middle school HTML skills at work here. But it was able to deploy to Netlify using those credentials stored in Vault too. So all we really had to do to wire all this together was make sure our different CI platforms could connect to that, whatever's controlling our environment. The other thing to note too is like you could take this a step further and use something like Vault namespaces, so that as a developer, I will get a certain set of credentials, set of environments, and then my CI platform that actually deploys to like, a staging environment or even production will get a different set, so that you have these different roles that we all have valid environments that can actually build and deploy things, but they go to the appropriate places based on who you are. Yeah, and then I'll share the code for this, but a quick note like this, CI job in CircleCI runs on a runner within this. I think it's within my Nomad cluster. And then the GitHub action actually connects, because again, that Vault instance is sitting in my basement, but we're able to use it because we just connect through Tailscale. So then it's as if this GitHub action is running within the same network, just as like an ephemeral connection. So